And so Poison was really the one that pulled me out of the guy looking at his feet to, to I guess what you see today when you come and see us. And I'm glad everything happens for a reason. Those guys taught me this is a show. You're not going to take your eyes off us for X because I'm moving around. If I'm not doing that, my brother is flipping a stick somewhere and, or playing behind my back, whatever I could do just to make you laugh. Or if a sour note came out, who cares? But yeah, talent, I mean, talent, but more, I wasn't as, my brother took to drums very naturally. I actually had to really work at guitar because my dad played bass. And so there was no one really to show me. So I had to go to lessons for a little bit. And then everything kind of opened up when I saw Stevie Ray Vaughan at Austin City Limits, the show on TV. I was like, oh, so I just went and got everything he had. And then there was no YouTube. It was just slow it down and rewatch it, slow it down, rewatch it.
Yeah. Well, you're right. You can be the most talented person in the world. And if you're just in your own little world, it's like you're blocking out the audience. There's got to be that energetic exchange, and they want to be a part of it. They want to be included and
Yes.
see who you are. So it's much more engaging. And you've definitely, zeroed in on that, Brandon. I can say just from having seen you one time in person, it's a
Thank
lot
you.
of fun. Yeah, it's a lot of fun to watch you on stage. Has Bill said in the intro that you have many musical genres that you have pursued
Mhm.
and played. Has that worked for you or against you or both in your career?
Um, I mean, I personally, I feel like, and to each their own, but I feel like because I started out on the blues, which is a really feeling, heartfelt based kind of music, that I am able to, I'm able to play what's up here and what's in here in solos. So I'm not really trying to. I try. I want you to be able to sing back what I'm playing or remember it. And so I don't know. I mean, I have pretty heavy blues chops. Sometimes I wish that I had paid attention to a little more shredder. Um, but then I don't know if I'd be me. I mean, I love all those guys. For instance, Joel Hoekstra. I mean, every night I work with him, I get a guitar lesson. It's guaranteed. But I think it's made me I think it's made me a little more soulful in my personal writing. For instance, "Rich for Life," the guitar solo. It's very brief, but it has an Allman Brothers harmony over the top of it kind of sound. And I think people go, all right, that's Brandon. That sounds like him. It's got a little bit of gospel, country, rock, soul in it. So I think it's kind of helped identify my sound. I don't sound like an 80s band. I'm 39. I don't sound like a 70s band. I've listened to all of it and put it in the pot. And yeah, I think it's made me a better writer to follow some of the I love country, old country lyrics, rhyming and things like that. So I'm an old soul, really, in the terms of the music I grew up listening to. It was BB King, Buddy Guy, Stevie Ray, Jimi Hendrix, Frampton. And then of course I was introduced to this wonderful 80s rock realm where I could take some of my skills, but learn how to run all over the stage and make people laugh and smile. And so it was just kind of a cool little melting pot of different, experiences, I think.
Brandon, I have to tell you, I was as you were saying that, I was thinking it back to what we saw and what we heard, and I know that we've had so many artists come on, and some of them feel pigeonholed into certain genres, and it's like you said, you're being you with what you write, and I think
Yeah.
in that acoustic show, I mean, it's the most electric acoustic show I've ever seen. I have to say that.
Yeah.
And on acoustic guitar, like you can't really cheat, on
No.
your leads. You got to pick those notes. You can't really hammer on the fretboard and cheat. But more
Yeah.
importantly, it was just the variety of songs and music that you guys played. It literally it brought the house down. It was phenomenal. And one
Thank
thing
you.
I'm wondering though, after watching you guys and see that, because I've seen you in your other bands, whether it's, Devil City Angels, your band with your
Mhm.
brother, your solo stuff, obviously Joel and his bands, but the two of you together, there's really something magical there, the chemistry. So when did you guys first meet, and how did Hoekstra Gibbs come together?
We met on the Monsters of Rock cruise. Um, there was a note under my door with an itinerary that said I had to go to this particular island where I think Monsters of Rock had rented the island for the day. And so there was like Great White playing and a big bandstand and things like that for all the cruisers to do. And one was a meet and greet with us. And it was right when the Devil City Angels record came out. And so over the loudspeakers during the meet and greet, we're signing some stuff and I could hear my record playing. And he goes, "Is that you?" And I go, "Yeah, that's the new Devil City Angels record." Anyways, we just exchanged numbers. I mean, I knew of him, but I hadn't really hung with them or whatever. We're just signing two guys. Hey, all right, you're here too. All right, let's sign. And we had a good time. We were laughing and joking in the line, and then it was a promoter called 2 or 3 weeks after we got home. "Hey, would you ever do any shows with Joel?" He said, "Well, I can definitely try." I said, I'll text him. Actually, I got his number, and it's one of those things where I'm like, I don't know if he would be interested. Whitesnake was pretty heavily touring at that time. Like, why would he want to go out and do this? And does he have to? He doesn't have to. So, anyways, he wrote right back, "Yeah, dude, let's do it." So we started doing the shows, and we started on a really small level, um, bars, just like see if this works. And it turns out we have chemistry, and that's a rare thing. We like comedy, we like to laugh at ourselves, we don't take ourselves too serious. um, and then it just started getting bigger and bigger and bigger, and it's a big part of our year. Every year, 7 years now, it's a big part of our year to go play these shows. And he's a great guy. He's funny, super talented. Everybody knows that. I mean, he's just a wonder of the world on the guitar. And I think he likes what I contribute. I have more of a blues rock thing, and he can go classical. He can go metal if he so chooses. He does kind of a classical piece in the middle of it during his solo, where I leave the stage and let him do his thing. And it's turned into something really cool. I don't see it going away anytime soon because it works. It's two guys trying to give you the most electric acoustic show, like you said, ever. and just give you a good old fashioned rock show, and hopefully you leave laughing. I mean, that was great. Those guys, and the biggest thing we try and do is to not give you the rock star treatment. We want to give you the, "Hey, we appreciate you, thank you for coming," because we honestly mean it. We started playing clubs, and now we're playing small theaters and the beautiful winery, and we're very great. Or going overseas. This will be our third time coming up in a couple weeks. So, what's not to love?
Right, that comes across, Brandon. It really does, and I do believe that your fans really appreciate that, because you never like to feel like you're less than the artist. You want this, you want to be just a part of it and enjoy the talent that they're sharing with you. But speaking of talent, we understand that you also have another family member that you're gigging with a little bit. Can you tell us about that?
Well, my daughter, you guys, if you follow me on Instagram or Facebook, my daughter sings. She's 10 years old, and she gets to go out. She actually went out on the road with me on the stadium tour for a little bit. She got to see the big lights and all that. And God bless Poison for letting me bring her out for a couple days, because that's a one of a kind of experience. And I had to send her home at some point because I think she thought because I was playing stadiums that I was making millions and millions of dollars. So anytime we go to Target or Five and Below, like the shopping carts were just filled to the brim. I'm like, okay, all right, all right. I'm working with Poison. I'm not in Poison, so tone it down, you know. But no, it was a beautiful moment. She sings. She has a wonderful voice. She sang 3 or 4 weeks ago on my birthday shows,
She's
and
10, right? 10 years old?
she's been doing this since she was 5 or 6.
My gosh.
She can harmonize. Um, I never pushed any of this on her, just like my parents never pushed it on me. But like this week we have a show, her and I, and she's all about practice and let's get it right. And, so yeah, I think what's going to happen here, guys, is I'll do a few more years and then I'll probably step back and just let her do her thing, out with the old, in with the new.
I think you
Pass
still
the
have a lot of
baton.
gas in the tank, though, Brandon.
Yeah.
Well, I certainly hope.
Yeah, and I would be remiss if I didn't mention one other thing, Brandon, because I thought this was really impressive. In the crowd, they were actually in the row in front of us at New Hope. There was a couple, and I felt so unworthy after I heard them telling this story to another couple next to us. They said that they had gone over to England to see you guys, and then they were going to be going. I think you're going to Vineland, New Jersey, in this next leg of the tour. So you've got people that are traveling overseas to see you guys. That's how good this show is. And I would, again, highly recommend wherever you guys are, if anyone can get there, get to this show. It's amazing. And the one last thing I wanted to ask you about with regard to the show was you talked about a song that I actually had heard a while back. And when you told the story behind it, I cracked up. Boneyard, you and Ricky Rocket, and kind of the lyrics and how it came together, because that song absolutely kicks butt. Can you share that story with us?
Oh man, it was just so bizarre. We were sitting at the studio, and I want to say 9 or 10 tracks were done, and we needed one more, and we were getting pressure from our manager at the time. And I'm like, guys, I'm out of gas. I don't have content right now, and writer's block. It happens. It's a real thing. And he's like, I'm gonna help. I'm gonna help. I gotta eat a Subway sandwich though. It's like, okay, whatever floats your boat, And back in the day, it could have been, I gotta get a shot of whiskey or something. No, it was a hoagie that he needed to eat. and he comes back and he's got this napkin and he wrote all the lyrics on a napkin. He's like, I got it, Let me talk about a correctional officer who's having an affair with an inmate. It was like he wrote his own movie. And I'm like, man, I think this is kind of cool. It's kind of cheeky, go on and get it. It just became kind of a fun song. And one of the reasons I liked the song when I started working on some guitars and stuff is it's got 3-part harmony on it. And I grew up with the 70s bands like the Doobies, like we've talked about. Every song, when they hit the chorus, it's 3 or 4 of them doing their parts, and that's huge to me. I love harmonies in songs. The other thing about Joel Hoekstra is he's a good singer. He doesn't give himself any credit for it, but maybe he doesn't like to sing lead so much, but the guy can harmonize. I mean, he harmonizes with David Coverdale, which is one of the best in rock and roll. And so finding a partner that is so, versatile. Man, I got you. What part are you singing? Like, for instance, we did Monsters of Rock a few months ago, and it was a hotel jam that we did for rehearsal. What part are you taking? What part are you taking? What part are you taking? And it just clicked. And that's all it took. So, I mean, that song it just kind of, it reminded me of a 70s kind of Doobies sort of song. And I clicked with that song. As soon as he came back with that, I'm like, man, whatever idea you're thinking, let's chase it down. It's funny. It's hip. And it was our single off that. It was a video that came out of that.
Yeah, and it gets stuck in your head. It's definitely got a hook.
Well, you got to ask yourself, what the hell are they talking about?
Yeah. Well, that's why when I finally heard the story, I was like,
Yeah, exactly.
Hey, Brandon, I just love that you called it a hoagie instead of a sub.
I know, right? That's what he called it. I got to get a hoagie, you know.
That's
So
right.
I think, is that a PA thing? Hoagie?
Yes.
It's definitely a Philly thing. I can't speak for Pittsburgh. I can't.
Okay. Good to know I got it right though.
Yeah, there you
Yes.
go. Well, Brandon, my gosh, the time flies by so much, but thank you so much. We wish you good luck on the tour
Thank
and
you.
all of the music that you've got coming out in the future. We'll keep our eyes peeled and we'll come out and see you again. And folks, we thank you so much as always for tuning in, and we look forward to seeing you again next week.
A man on top of the world, you know. I rise so high, but I feel so low. Painted picture, what you wanted to see is a man who looks so desperately. I need a spot to calm it down, a place to go where no one's around. I need a lifeline, help me, would you please? You are the answer, you are that man I called. All eyes on you now, pick me up before I fall. The mirror is a clock with lines to see. The man I am, I just cannot be. I had it all, but I killed myself. Man, I'm praying for a change. Yeah, I need a spot to lay back down, find myself, get solid ground. And I need a lifeline. Help me, would you please? Yeah. You are the answer. You are that man I called. All eyes on you now. Pick me up before I fall. I need a rescue. I need a second chance. I call the hero. You're the light, a saving grace. These eyes have seen them all. Yeah, you rise, oh, before you fall. I need a hero. I call me hero. I need a hero. I call me hero. I'm a man on top of the world, you know. I rise so high, but I feel so low.